Hello, lovely explorers and YouTube followers. I'm going to talk about vulva mapping today. You've got to stick around. If you're a guy, this is going to be very important information for you around the vulva, the vagina, all of these things, and what mapping is all about. And if you're with a vulva, this is also going to be very, very important for you because this is something that there's huge stigma around, and I want to help break these stigma and help us love our vulvas and understand them and know them. I mean, this is part of our body, right? This is part of our body. And there's still so many people that don't know anything about it, don't know what to do with it, don't really understand it, okay? So stick around, we're gonna get into some detail around that. First of all, subscribe to my channel. This is really important. You subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, and you help me continue to make videos, okay? You can also hit the alarm button and then you will know exactly when my videos are gonna come in. But first, subscribe, ready, go. Thank you. Okay, let's get into vulva mapping. Now, the first thing that people don't understand is that the vulva is the entire female genitalia between the female body's legs. That's the vulva. The vagina is the opening, the vaginal opening where you can enter into the vaginal, the vagina within inside the woman's body, okay? So that's a very small part of many parts. The vulva is the entire thing. So we're gonna talk about vulva mapping. Now, what is vulva mapping, first of all? Okay, let's get into that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how to do vulva mapping and the parts of the vulva that you want to map and chart. And why do we want a vulva map? Why is it important to us to start really reclaiming our feminine bodies, as well as understanding really clearly the feminine body, okay? So vulva mapping is getting in deep connection with your feminine pelvic region, okay? First of all, understanding what the parts are, understanding how all these parts feel, the different kinds of touch that you offer them, what they feel like, how they respond. This is a very big energy center of our being, the sexual energy center. And a lot of tension and stress and trauma gets held in this area. So this is why women have problems with lubrication or tightness, inability to allow for penetration or soreness, because this area, the vulva, holds so much energy. And if there's been any kind of problems or stress or anything that's come from the past that is causing, and you're noticing now there are problems with sexual performance, sexual desire, sexual interest, it's likely because there is some stuck energy, there's some stuck emotional stuff going on in the vulva area. So the vulva mapping is partly trying to find where those areas are that are holding these traumatic moments that you had in your life, and releasing them, softening, getting in tune with it, then releasing, getting more comfortable with your body, getting more confident with your body, or with her body or with your partner's body, right? It's really essential to be able to connect with her, know exactly what's going on with her body, and it's essential for her to get connected with her own body. So if you have a partner, get them to watch my video, because it's just, to me, this is like so powerful and so important. And I want feminine energy beings, vulva holders, to get more information about their vulvas. So let's get into more detail around the vulva. What parts are there in the vulva? Some of you might know this, but I've drawn a nice little picture. Ding, 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 ding. And we're going to talk about the parts of the vulva. Are the words backwards? Oh, likely. Anyways, so the entire area is the vulva, okay? So if you're a partner and you have a partner who has a vulva and you love this part of her body, it's not just the vagina, The vagina is here. This is the area that you penetrate. Yeah, you love the vagina because that's the penetrative area. And inside the vagina is where all the secrets are held and where all the points of pleasure are held, right? Many points of pleasure. Of course, there's so many points of pleasure here. There are like 8,000 nerve endings in this vulva. So it's an extremely, extremely sensitive area. So it's so important to understand the parts. And when you get to understand the parts, the next time you're with your partner, like really look, oh, there's this part, there's that part, touch it, feel it gently, understand how it responds, understand how it feels. If you're the vulva holder, the charting is to start to understand your vulva. So let's look at the parts first. So we have the vagina here. We have the urethra up here. So this is where you pee, right? Urethra is here. Right above the urethra is the clitoris. Okay, it's like a little ball at the top. It can be tiny, it can be long. Vulvas come in all shapes and sizes. This is just generally where what the different parts are. So, but it is right at the top. On top of the clitoris is the clitoris head, or the prepuce. It's also called the prepuce, but let's say clitoris head is right above there. So this is a very, very sensitive area. And as you know, there's the clitoral stimulation, which causes clitoral orgasm. So super, 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 super sensitive. You do not want to touch that in a very aggressive, hard way. You want to start as softly as possible, like touching, if you are the holder or if you are the partner, touching the area softer than you would touch a butterfly to start, okay? Because you want to go into the layers. We're going to get into the mapping in a second. Back to the parts. We have the inner labia. So there's lots of layers of skin that surround the vagina here, right? And these are called the labia. So we have the inner labia, and some women have a few kind of wavy bits of skin that are in this area. And then the outer labia is just circumventing the entire vulva. Here, outer labia, inner labia. And down here, right at the bottom of the inner and outer, between the inner and the outer labia, we have the fourchette. This is also a very sensitive area. So there's a lot of stuff to discover here. And now you know the parts. So why is it important to do vulva mapping? Well, vulva mapping is, as I said before, is getting to know the vulva, right? So when you go in for vulva mapping, you are touching areas very gently. You are exploring, how do these areas feel? If you are the vulva owner, then you can feel the sensations, and you want to touch and feel the sensations that come up for you. Sense the feelings that you have around, because you might touch a certain area and you'll feel, oh wow, I feel that's really tight right there. Maybe I feel tears coming up when I touch this area. Just hold in that spot and let the energy of whatever you're feeling to move through your body. Okay, don't rush this mapping. Okay, you want to go slowly, take your time, really get to know your vulva in all of the parts of your vulva. And that means touching them slowly, gently, trying different touch methods, which would mean extremely soft and then a little bit harder, maybe circular motion, squeezing a little bit, pinching, rubbing, touching, slapping a little, all sorts of different kinds of touch methods as you're mapping, trying to see how you feel, trying to see also what gives you pleasure, what really gives you pleasure. And you can't know unless you start to go in a really finite manner. Now, if you're the vulva holder, you might want to get a mirror so that you can really see, your vulva as well, see this beautiful, beautiful piece of art between your legs, right? And then you can locate the different parts, feel feel and sense, really go into your body and connect with every single bit of movement you make with your hand. You may also want to get other kinds of playful things that you can touch your vulva with to see how that affects your feeling, like maybe a feather or a silk scarf or maybe an ice cube. See what the reaction is when you explore and experiment around vulva, okay? So why is this so important? We have such, again, the stigma around the vulva. There's so little that has been talked about the vulva or known about the vulva. There has been a lot of fear around talking about it. You know, there were years, and I know that was like that when I was growing up, where as young girls, we thought that the vulva was smelly. People used to say the vulva smelled like fish, that it was dirty, that you had to clean it. I mean, even to this day, there's all these douching companies that are trying to sell products to you to make your vulva smell like beautiful roses or flowers or whatever the hell. The vulva needs to smell like the vulva, right? And every woman has their own vulva smell. This is also, your vulva smell is also based on the kinds of foods that you eat, right? So that's a whole other topic, but different foods can affect the smell of your vulva in different ways. So that's another form of experimentation that you can try with yourself or with your partner. But when you get to know your vulva, then you're able to really understand it much better. And it gives you confidence because, oh, like if I touch here, I really know that I feel that. And I've been able to release this element within my body. It was really tight in that I felt the tension come up, or I cried when I touched this part of my body. And so you create these releases, which will start to give you more confidence around your own sexuality. It'll also help you with conversation and discussing with your partner exactly what you want and how you want them to touch you, right? You are going to become the master of your own body. Okay, this is the other aspect, the master of your own body, taking control of your body. So if you are working with your partner, do it together. Get a mirror together, look together, say, hey, honey, let's really investigate the vulva and get to know it and get to understand it and help, especially if your partner is having problems with penetration or soreness, or they're constantly getting yeast infections or urinary infections. This is all traumatic stuff that's being held in the vulva and in the womb area as well. But you can start by investigating, understanding, connecting with your own vulva or connecting with your partner's vulva so that you can start helping yourself, your partner, relax more, gain more understanding about their body and about their own pleasure. That's the most important part, gaining understanding about your own pleasure. Okay. So I hope this has helped you. If you have any further questions, then I would like, just leave the comments below. Let me know if you have explored your partner's vulva. How well do you know your partner's vulva, or how well do you know your vulva? Let me know below and ask me any questions that you have, or share any experiences that you might have with connecting and bringing in a stronger connection with your partner and their beautiful energy, sexual energy center. All right. Also, join my Patreon club for more deep inner stories about my own sexual explorations. I would love to see you there. It's listed below. It's on the front. I have the link everywhere. I will be telling a more intimate, detailed, exploratory story of my own every month on the Patreon. So I'd love to have you. And I also offer some more in-depth conversational classes there as well. And I'm going to offer some stories. So come and join me on that. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and celebration and festive season. And yeah, this is the time to investigate, to slow down, to explore and understand very clearly what the vulva is capable of doing and what it is all about. Okay. So I hope to see you here next week. Much love making. Bye bye.